Look, you installed a VPN to protect yourself, right? To keep your browsing private, secure your data on public Wi-Fi, and basically stop third parties from watching your every move online. But what if the exact tool you downloaded to shield you is actually tracking you? And I don't mean hypothetically. In this explainer, you're about to discover how the app you completely trusted for privacy might just be a highly effective surveillance tool, perfectly disguised as security. Let me give you the hard, peer-reviewed facts first. In February 2026, researchers from 3 highly respected institutions, we're talking the University of Michigan, the University of New Mexico, and IIT Delhi, presented some incredibly alarming findings. They dropped this at the Network and Distributed Systems Security Symposium, or NDSS. So this isn't just some random guy's blog post. This is one of the most rigorous, peer-reviewed security conferences on the planet. They built an automated testing tool called MVP Analyzer and ran 281 of the absolute most popular free VPN apps on the Google Play Store right through it.
The sheer scale of what they found should honestly make everyone pause. The apps that registered at least one critical security failure in their testing haven't just been downloaded a few thousand times. They have been downloaded 2.4 billion times. Let that sink in. 2.4 billion. That represents most of the people who use VPNs on Android devices worldwide. And the most terrifying part? The vast majority of these compromised apps are literally still sitting on the Google Play Store right now, actively racking up millions more downloads as we speak.
Okay, let's dive into this, because the core threat here is that some of these supposed security tools offer absolutely zero encryption. None whatsoever. 4 of the apps tested run a tunnel that is completely open. Everything you do online is totally visible to anyone watching the network. So they look like VPNs on your phone, they have a little lock icon, but they function like wide-open windows.
Section 1. The science of the leak.
Out of the apps tested, a staggering 29 leaked user traffic completely outside the encrypted tunnel. Think about what that actually means. The entire reason you installed the VPN in the first place is just gone. Your data is simply bypassing the secure tunnel entirely, making your web traffic completely visible to anyone sniffing around on your local network.
It actually gets worse. 24 of those 29 apps specifically leak your DNS traffic. Now, DNS is the lookup your phone makes every single time you visit a website. It's what translates a web address into an IP address. Even if the actual content of your connection is encrypted, a DNS leak reveals every single website you are visiting. Those 24 apps alone account for 360 million installs. That means hundreds of millions of people are essentially handing their entire browsing history directly to their internet service provider, all while firmly believing they are completely hidden.
And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer technical negligence at play here. 61 of the apps tested sent actual user data in plain text, completely unencrypted. So if you're sitting in a coffee shop or waiting at an airport, anyone with a basic network tool can just read your passwords, your bank details, and your private messages. No hacking required. But here is the one that should make you put down whatever you're doing right now. 76 of these apps, that's more than 1 in 4 of everything they tested, sent the user's unique advertising ID to third parties. Your advertising ID is a unique code that literally follows you across every app on your device. You installed a VPN to stop advertisers from tracking you, right? But the VPN app itself was handing those advertisers a permanent ID that tracks you everywhere, regardless of what your IP address says. It completely transforms a supposed privacy tool into a permanent, undeniable surveillance tracker.
Part 2. You are the product. To truly understand why this betrayal is happening on such a massive scale, you need to internalize this one simple sentence. If you are not paying for the product, you are the product. The encryption they promise? It's just the bait. The data they collect from you is the real product they keep and sell. Think about it. Running a VPN requires expensive servers in dozens of countries, massive bandwidth, and engineering teams. It's not cheap. Since they aren't charging you a dime, here are the 4 ways they actually make their money. First, advertising tracking, where they monetize your behavior and build profiles to sell to the highest bidder. Second, data brokering, where they aggregate your browsing history, your location, and your device info and just sell it to data brokers to combine with your social media and purchase history. Third, bandwidth selling. This one's wild. Some apps actually sell access to your device's internet connection, turning your phone into a residential proxy and routing total strangers' traffic right through your home network. And fourth, malware delivery, Researchers documented that some of these aren't privacy tools at all. They are literally malware delivery systems meant to gain persistent, silent access to your device.
Part 3. The 5 failure types.
So, the crucial point is understanding the most technically sophisticated failure they found, which is tunnel hijacking. 5 specific apps are vulnerable to this. Essentially, an attacker on your network intercepts the app's configuration file because, incredibly, it was sent in the clear and replaces it with one pointing to their own server. Your VPN connects, but directly to the attacker. Everything you send goes to them first in a classic man-in-the-middle attack.
And then there's what we call tracker infestation. Out of the 281 apps tested, 246 contained at least one third-party tracker. That is 87.5%. Just to let that sink in for a second, the apps that exist solely to protect your privacy are almost universally packed with systems designed to track you.
Part 4. Test your VPN now.
Let's move to and see how this builds into something you can actually do about it right now. Fortunately, the researchers gave us the exact tools to test this. Here's a quick 60-second check you can run yourself. Step 1. Turn your VPN on. Step 2. Open your browser and go to dnsleaktest.com. Step 3. Run the standard test. If you see your real internet service provider in the results, your VPN is leaking and exposing you. Finally, Step 4. Go to ipleak.net. If your real IP address or location appears, your identity is totally exposed.
Now, if your test fails, stop using that app immediately and delete it from your phone. Here are 3 researcher-approved alternatives you can actually trust. Option A is Malvad VPN. Yes, it's paid, but it's open source, audited, and their no-logs policy was literally proven in court when Swedish police seized their servers and found absolutely zero data. Option B is Proton VPN. They have a free tier that researchers consistently pass. It's open source, independently audited, the speed is limited, sure, but the privacy is very real. And option C, no VPN. Honestly, if you cannot afford a trusted paid VPN, relying on your standard connection with no VPN is vastly safer than using a leaking, tracking, heavily compromised free VPN app.
Part 5. The institutional failure.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is understanding why Google hasn't fixed this. Because the threat here isn't just some hacker in a basement, it's a structural business model failure dressed as a product. First, scale. The Play Store has over 3 million apps, making true manual review nearly impossible. Second, money. Free VPNs generate massive ad revenue, meaning they pay Google when users click. So the incentive to remove them isn't exactly pure. And third, the legal gray zone. Sending your ID to third parties is actually technically legal as long as it's buried somewhere on page 40 of a privacy policy that literally nobody ever reads.
And that leaves the final decision entirely up to you. 2.4 billion downloads represent real people who believe they are protected, while the app they rely on does the exact opposite of what they paid nothing for. The true cost of a free VPN is your browsing history, your bandwidth, and your actual identity. So the question you really have to ask yourself today is this: are you willing to trade your complete digital privacy just to save a few dollars a month? Don't wait on this. Run the leak test right now and take back control of your data.